So I've been kind of looking forward to these videos a little bit. I've been letting them I've been letting a video sit for at least a day, so let that subject set in, just in case for views a little bit, but not really. It's just more or less okay. Let me let that sit first before I just move on to the next one, because you just never, I don't want them to be forgotten in the long run. Apparently, we were supposed to have the rapture today, and I know this is it's not the first time this has happened, but honestly, it's like that. It's nothing, not to down the mood, but it's just like if the rapture was to happen now today, most of the world would be screwed. Let's just be real. And there's just too many things in it. Anyway, it's like honestly, those who are even thinking they know, it shows the level of seriousness that you don't have with it, because it's like, I think more than likely, if it was to happen, those who were saying it's going to happen, thinking they know the time, they probably wouldn't be safe, honestly. But but it is what it is. Anyway, that's not what we're here. I'm going to continue on with the proverbs. But I think after these many videos, I guess I should introduce myself. I'm Trey John Young. It's Trey and John. It's not spelled like that though. It's Trejoun Young. But on when I record these, I record this for YouTube on a channel that I made called Zion Truth. And then on TikTok, my underscore is TMaster101TY, and then I just put Ty. So as a nickname, I prefer to go by Ty. If you can't say the name, I've been dealing with it all my life, so it is what it is at this point. But yeah, Ty, that's what on TikTok, that's where I go by. And then I made a channel called Zion Truth, and that's why I'm mainly but I'm putting on both, because why not? But yeah, now that that's over, I think let's get right into it. Last time was pretty good. Listen, my son, to the discipline of a father. Pay attention in order to gain understanding, for I will give you good instruction. Do not forsake my teaching. I was a true son to my father, and the one who especially loved by my mother. He taught me and said, may your heart hold fast to my words. Keep my commandments and continue living. Acquire wisdom, acquire understanding. Do not forget and do not turn aside from what I say. Do not forsake it, and it will protect you. Love it, and it will safeguard you. Wisdom is the most important thing, so acquire wisdom. And with all you acquire understanding. Highly esteem, and it will exalt you. So, the thing about wisdom, it's good to have wisdom, but that's the thing with it, is when you have wisdom, you have to understand the wisdom, but we don't always understand it at first, so that's why you have to sometimes keep going over things. And that's why when you go through the Bible, it's like you can't just do it once, because it's like understanding is important. Once you have a wisdom of something or want wisdom, then you got to acquire that understanding. It's basically what this is saying. It's like, so you have to understand the wisdom, but I'm not saying fully, but to a level extent you want to continue. That's why you want to continue doing a subject as much as you can. Anyway, it will honor you because you embrace it, and it will place an attractive wreath on your head, and it will adorn you with a crown of beauty. Listen, my son, and accept my sayings, and the years of your life will be many. I will instruct you in the way of wisdom. I will lead you in the tracks of righteousness. When you walk, your steps will not be hindered, and if you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to discipline. Do not let it go. Safeguard it, for it means your life. Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not walk in the way of the evil men. Shun it, do not take it. Turn away from it and pass it by, for they cannot sleep unless they do what is bad. They are robbed of sleep unless they cause someone's downfall. They feed themselves with the bread of wickedness, and they drink the wine of violence. But the path of righteous is like the bright morning light that grows brighter and brighter until full daylight. The way of the wicked is like the darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. My son, pay attention to my words. Listen carefully to my sayings and do not lose sight of them. Keep them deep within your heart, for they are life to those who find them, and health to their whole body. Above all the things that you guard, safeguard your heart, for out of it are the sources of life. Put crooked speech away from you, and keep devious talk away from you. Your eyes should look straight forward. Yes, fix your gaze straight ahead of you. Smooth out the course of your feet, and all your ways will be sure. Do not incline to right or the left. Turn your feet away from what is bad. And yeah, see, probably if you first time hearing this, it's like easier said than done. That's probably what I don't know. It's been, like I said, it's been a while since I went through Proverbs. I am gonna read the next chapter because I feel like it's not enough yet. But yeah, I just let that sit in. I don't think there's too much I can say other than what it says for itself. You have to study it. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen carefully to my discernment so that you may guard your thinking abilities and safeguard knowledge with your lips. From the lips of the wayward woman drip like a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end she is as bitter as a wormwood and as sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet descend into death. Her steps lead straight to the grave. She gives no thought to the path of life. Her course wanders, but she does not know where. Now, my son, listen to and do not turn away from what I am saying. Stay far away from her. Do not go near the entrance of her house, so that you may not give your dignity to others, nor reap years of what is cruel, so that strangers may not drain your resources, and what you labor for go to the house of a foreigner. Otherwise, you will groan at the end of your life when your flesh and body waste away, and you say, how I hated discipline, how my heart reprised reproof, and I did not listen to the voice of my instructors, and pay attention to my teachers, I have come to the brink of complete ruin in the midst of entire congregation. Drink water from your own concern and flowing water from your own well. Should your springs be dispersed outside your streams of water in the public squares, let them be for you alone and not for strangers with you. And may your own fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice with the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a gracing mountain goat, let her breast satisfy you at all times, and may you captivated by her love constantly. So why, my son, should you be captivated by the wayward woman and embrace the bosom of the immoral woman? For the ways of man are before the eyes of Jehovah. He examines all his paths. The wicked one is ensnared by his own errors, and he will be caught in the ropes of his own sin. And he will die for the lack of discipline and go astray because of his excessive foolishness. What can I take out of that one, honestly? It's like, I mean, there's a lot to take out of it, but as far as the woman, I don't think it's meant to be taken completely literal. Yeah, to an extent, but one of the things that I had mentioned was discipline. I think discipline is a good thing in life. It's like a strain, you know. The biggest example, sorry about that. The biggest example is like working out. You know, it's a discipline. You have to, but the end result is, in the end, it becomes worth it. And a lot of people don't have discipline nowadays, unfortunately. But you got to start somewhere. And it's not easy. It's not. But, you know, if you want to better yourself, you gotta keep it. And discipline is a part of that. Yeah, All right, I think that's gonna be it for that. I don't want to like make this video longer than what it is, so yeah, I think I'll stop that right there. Anyway, that was pretty good. I think what take out is this. When you seek wisdom, the next thing to go for is understanding, and doing that by continuing to follow along with the wisdom that you receive. You gotta have discipline, because a lot of us don't want to listen to that. That's why the truth, it's a hard, you have sayings like the hard truth, or things like, just truth. Sometimes truth is not easy to hear, but that's where it's like, okay, for, where the discipline kind of comes in. It's like, well, I may not like what I hear, but let me study it. Let me think on it. Let me see what this could mean. Keep going deeper within it. And pretty much been doing that for the whole time I've been reading the Bible. Now, one of the things on YouTube, I put in a in a community post about Jesus in Mark, one of the chapters in Mark. And it was about, this is kind of outside the subject of what we just read, but it was about how there was a man that came up to him and said, "Good teacher," called him good teacher. And basically the thing to take out of that was, Jesus said, "Why do you call me good? There's only one good, and that's God." And now I wrote the post, and I'm not going to go too deep in it, but if you want that to be a video, I can make that a video. If you want that, maybe I'll do it anyway. But I think that was a good set, because it's like, it's interesting, because like, even Jesus, being the perfect being he was, didn't want to refer himself as good. You can take a lot out of that if you really think on it. It really is interesting, because it's like, wow. And he's perfect, right? But despite that, even Jesus himself is like, there's only one good, and that's God. So it's like, us being imperfect should tell you that, okay, the best that we can do is be authentic. But anyway, I'm not going to get too deep, because I don't want to further away from the subject. But I hope you enjoyed that. It was a pretty good read. Again, sometimes you need to go back to have a better understanding, because you might have a different perspective than what you had if you originally. Your perspective should be always growing. I don't know. But anyway, one of the things I've been also learning throughout is breathing techniques. Breathing, you gotta basically put it out with, breathe in with your nose and breathe out with your mouth. Anyway, I'm getting off subject. Sorry about that. But anyway, I hope this brought something to you, if anything. Have a good one.